Good morning, 12 signs. It is November 19th, 2019. This is just a daily reading. I was going to give the energy update, and I was going to say, you can hear all the crows above me and all the noise here at work. I just got here. I was going to do my energy update for the week, talk about how Mercury retrograde is bailing on us, and that we're moving into this lovely holiday Sagittarius season. And then Spirit said, no, you need to tell everybody about coping and about things about you that you hide about yourself. Specifically, I know I'm in many relationships that I've had to break off or had to adjust just based on the fact that when I speak, I'm not psychic. I am more high priestess energy. I know things and I don't even know them. And I don't always know how I've put the pieces together. Sometimes I can figure it out and be like, oh, I figured that out. But most of the time I understand things or know things about people that they have not actually verbalized to me. And so it's kind of like, let's say you or your girlfriend is pregnant and you've told nobody, and I start asking you about baby clothes, or I start asking you about, did you have kids? Or, little things like that. And and of course it could be anything, like you're having difficulties in your marriage, and so I complain to you about my ex, or there are things and themes that are deeply on your mind that I pick up on. I don't know how, and I know it makes people very uncomfortable. I know it makes people not want me to speak, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I choose to be very quiet, and sometimes it kind of came up because I've been talking about that Capricorn at work, and this guy would never accept. I mean, am I closing myself off to this because I don't want to be accepted? Am I coping with this way, or am I closing it off because it's true? Like, he would never accept me reading cards. He would never accept, me is me. So I've pushed him away preemptively, even before giving him a chance to say no. Is that fair? Well, on the opposite side, when you're seeing somebody that doesn't want to spend time with you, knowing full well that part of it has to do with because, and it's happened to me a million times, where people just don't want to spend time with me, knowing full well that my conversations are a bit knife to the heart kind of thing, and I don't know it's going on. So it's kind of, if you don't have an open relationship with me where you can speak freely, not open like you can date whoever you want, but it can become difficult. And it's even difficult with my child because when my children are suffering, I feel they're suffering whether I'm with them or not. And so even just learning how to cope with that on my own has been difficult, and even understanding what it is. But speaking of this Mercury retrograde, a lot of past life readings have popped up in many different many different versions from readers all around. And then of course the Leo King last night talked about past life, and there's this feeling of this Mercury retrograde of being stuck in the middle of things and not actually doing anything, but not actually necessarily coping with things properly, because maybe we need to cope with things from our past that we want in our future a little better. And one of the difficulties that comes from our past lives that we don't necessarily know. I mean, the Leo King talked about an Aries reading in which sometimes you hit a point in your current life where in your past lives, multiple past lives, you haven't lived beyond. So you haven't lived through this lesson. It's completely scary. It's completely different. But it doesn't have to be, your past life as in, a life you totally lived before, reincarnation, all that business. No, it actually just can refer to your past life as in, I'm 41 years old. I definitely have 40 years of life behind me, and I've definitely never been in this position before. And how do I move forward? And it's just learning those new things. And right now I'm kind of in that in-between state where a lot of us are just trying to figure out and this may be as confusing as fuck for everybody, but we're just trying to figure out how to move forward in a whole new world that we've never been before. None of us. A lot of the energies above us haven't hit us, especially this Jupiter position, galactic center that it's hitting for all our luck and our transitions into our future in a good way. It hasn't hit us in like 200, some ridiculous amount of years. So it's nothing that any of us have lived. I often tell kids that your parents will advise you as best they can. They even have the best advice for you, knowing you extremely well your whole life. But they can't tell you how to move forward in the current world because they haven't lived it. Well, parents really hate when they hear me telling kids that, but I do tell them to listen to their parents. Absolutely listen to your parents. But you're going to have to make those choices on your own is what it comes down to. Well, one of the difficulties that parents might have about hearing that, and one of the difficulties I have about hearing that, is that my parents can only advise me. They cannot make those decisions for me or tell me which way to go. In fact, you can't even base your life wholly from their example anymore because they haven't lived the life that you are going to have to live. It's kind of crazy. But it has that feeling of everyone moving forward blindly because there's no maps right now for us. And this approaching 2020, the new year is going to be 100% no maps before us. And that's why our vibration and our planetary vibration, you feel the energies lifting. I mean, look back on 2017, end of 2017, beginning of 2018. My God, how many people were suffering and just by losing people we love or going through tough times. And it's just a matter of that light lifting to prepare us to walk in the darkness, to walk in a place we've never been before and a way we've never been before. I'm actually very excited about it because the light is raising kind of thing. So it's not going to be as dark as, as walking through the gates of hell, but it's going to be all new territory, and it's all very frightening, and there's many things about each other that we need to learn. All right, so I'm just going to pull some cards for today. I think I've said enough. I hope it made sense because I had no plans, because the plan I had, the script I'd written, the notes I'd written, Spirit told me to put that shit away. All right, so me being the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Clovers, my readings tend to focus on life, craft, action, nurturing ourselves and others, and using our will for the highest good and calling. This is a daily general reading. It won't apply to all, but my loves, it usually does, because I'm asking for the collective energies. This is my new beautiful creatures deck. I'm going to have a go at it today, see how it goes. Another thing I brought to study, but then Spirit said, no, pull those cards. They didn't even want me to pull. I had to hunt for my Queen of Wands cards because Spirit was so insistent. The crows have gone quiet because they are listening. They always do that when I read. Once I start shuffling, the crows go quiet. It kind of creeps me out sometimes, but I've been reading outside a lot or in my car, and now I found that I'm not going to pull. When I drop cards, I don't like them. Yeah, I found the crows go dead quiet when I start shuffling. So, and I heard that. That was like, agreement. Very interesting. All right, what energies do we need to work with today? What energies do we need to work with today? Shuffle them this way so they get a little more jumpy. Because I'm going to pull that one up because maybe it's just the one card today. Sometimes that's what happens when I do dailies. And I do have the Two of Cups, relationship. Commitment. This is about, the Two of Cups is a lovey-dovey card. People love to see this because we have this ridiculous obsession with love when listening to the tarot. But this Two of Cups card is about relationships of any kind. It's about commitment. It's about, one of the things this card didn't, even though it's a relationship card, one of the write-ups on this card that was deeply enjoyable was that you have a passion that you should follow. And 2s are decision cards, and they're fears of decision cards, fears of coming into commitment. But this is recognizing the other. It's very Gemini, lovers, twinsies, but it's following that passion with somebody else. An intimate connection is building, it is growing, and it doesn't have to mean it's going to be sexual, but it does mean that we have the ability to be intimate with each other in ways, not in physical ways, in committed ways, in ways that help us grow. It also makes me wonder, what are we not committing to? Because relationships aren't just with each other. They're with ourselves. They're with our obligations, our work. Recommit yourself to something. Patience. Recommit yourself to something that you have maybe given up on. The 3 of Wands, this patience card, is about this lovely gardener that has actually, she's planted everything. She's even got this teapot, which you got to wait for your tea to boil, and then you've got to wait for it to steep. 3 of Wands is the waiting card. It is the waiting, actively waiting card, tending the garden. But it's not but one of the most important lessons of this card is not giving up too soon on a relationship. When put together, it's not giving up on people. It's not giving up on the choices we've made, especially when it comes to people. There are some people in our lives that we just don't understand. I know I'm probably one of them. Come to find that having all this fire in my chart, I may be a little bit of a softie, a little bit of a lambkin of an Aries, but I am on fire, and I can be kind of bitchy, and I do poke at people in ways that I don't even know, because I'm so gentle and sweet and so fuzzy like a lamb. Even my name means little lamb. And Rachel does mean little lamb. And but what it is really is it just means that I'm going to poke you with a big sword, but it's going to feel a little soft until that knife hits, and usually with my words. But this is not giving up just because, especially if you're in a twin flame dynamic right now, a lot of us are giving up. A lot of us are finding that it's just too difficult, and it's lonely, and and maybe I'm wrong about it. The abundance card. 1 of Pence. This is being blessed by this angel of abundance. Abundance is coming in. Not only abundance is coming in, but it's inspired to come in. And then the Page of Wands. This is move forward. Let's go. Let's do this. I know we feel this energy, and it's a page because it's Mercury retrograde. It's about to finish. As soon as it finishes, we're going to feel that green light, that run forward. See these red flowers? It's where we stopped, and it's that green light is coming, and we're going to pull those flowers up and take them with us, because we're going on an adventure, and we're going to enjoy that motherfucker with some really sweet smelling roses and flowers. Spirit gives me strange messages sometimes, but this is the message for us today, that don't give up. It's a lot of us has dredged up things from the past, especially with Mercury retrograde, that really mean a lot to us, and it's kind of important that we hold on to what means a lot to us, especially when we are being driven by Spirit to do so. If something is poking at you a lot, and a lot of my messages today have been about those things that really bother you or poke at you or keep, why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done this? You hear it in your head. That's not just your Jiminy Cricket, you talking to yourself. It's definitely an angel on your shoulder, and you need to handle shit. So, it's a tough time right now. I'm going to end this because I don't want to talk about anything else, and I'm tired, and I got to go to work, and I got to see how my people are doing too. So I've had a rough one, and I think they have too. So we'll see. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope you like, subscribe. Thank you for sharing your energy with me, all that business. I'm done. Have a good day, everyone.